All right. Good morning, traders. All right, welcome to another Thursday morning. Wanted to get one quick video out to you, just to give you something to take a look at and practice throughout your day to day. All right, so look, here's what we want to do. One of the things that I've been practicing this week is basically identifying the trend and then trading the pullbacks. So, for instance, I'll tell you the trade that I took this morning that I've been tracking since last night. So, I was watching this development yesterday evening. So, this development here, then I started seeing this particular pullback right here. So, obviously, and looking at this pullback, I was tracking this, and what I wanted to do was wait until this pullback was over before I got back into this market. So what ended up happening with this particular trade was I saw this candle. All right, this was the 4 o'clock candle. Then I saw this 5 o'clock candle. Now once I got this bullish confirmation candle, this 4 o'clock bullish confirmation candle, I ended up getting in the market at 6 o'clock on this candle right here, this one right here, and then riding this candle up. So let's see if from a trade for a trade like that on the hourly time frame, what's our pip count? So if we got into the bottom, right, we're looking at, let's see, we're looking at, okay, so we're looking at about 63 pips or so for the trade that I ended up getting in. Let's take a look. I got in right there, and I rode this out. So about right here. So yep, about 31 pips what I ended up getting out of that particular trade. So 25 pips is usually what I like to target for a good trade. 25 pips or so for a quick trade anyway. A good trade, we're looking at 50 pips or more, right? But a quick, scout trade, whatever you want to call it, a good 25 pips or so, solid for me. So here's how I was looking at this, right? And here's how you can take a look and decide how you want to look at your trade setup, right? So when I looked at the daily chart, and here's what you want to pay attention to. So on this daily chart, we're obviously still in the uptrend for the daily chart, right? So our big moves are coming on the bullish side, right? So we should be looking to be bullish on GJ until this trend finishes, until we get confirmation that this trend has really reversed and started moving to the downside. We should be looking for buy trades, right? So this trade has been going, and what I noticed is, so you just definitely want to make sure you pay attention and know, when you look at this particular, when you look to the left, right, again, what we're tracking is that this trend is still ongoing. But what you want to consider is that once we get to about this area right here, where this is a resistance area, for this current uptrend, right? So we're going to look for price to react right here, but until it gets there, we're pretty good. But what we ran into yesterday is obviously, as or the last couple days, when you look at from the daily chart, once we got here, we did reach some resistance. As you can see, we had a little wick here, so price obviously did react to this area here. Again, looking to the left, then as we got up here around in this area, price reacted again. You got a lot of activity to the left hand side that will cause price to react, but that does not mean that the trend is going to reverse. That doesn't mean that. Now maybe on the lower time frames you're going to see bigger reversals, but you're not going to see huge reversals on the daily time frame because of these zones in these areas. The trend is going to continue. It's going to pull back, it's going to reverse, and it's going to continue. So again, I've been tracking and looking at this right here. So once we broke this area right here, I felt like we were pretty much in the clear, and there wasn't going to be a lot of interruption. And as you see, there hasn't been a lot of interruption. So let's look and see what this looks like on the lower time frame. So let's look at the hourly time frame, right? So this is where we're getting our pullbacks, in those areas, those zones. All right, so this is an area of consolidation. A price broke out of consolidation and continued in the uptrend. We got that continuation, right? All right, we had some consolidation. Again, continuation to the upside. Here we had a pretty decent pullback, right? Pretty decent pullback. Then we had our impulse into the continuation. So again, once you've identified the trend, you should be looking to get in trades off of pullbacks, right? So here's the key, and here's where a lot of traders have problems. Well, Mike, well, where does the pullback end? I don't know. I don't know when the pullback ends. That's why you wait for your confirmation, and you wait for your signals to get back in. Because here, look, there's nothing wrong with waiting till you get a if you know your candle, if you know your candle patterns and stuff like that, wait for a good candle pattern. That's a good indicator. Those are good indications that the trend may be about to end and go into a continuation reversal or what have you, right? So you look for your candlestick patterns. You can look on the lower time frames. That's where I look to get into the market, on the lower time frames. Or what have you, right? So if you looked right here, the trend started ending right here, right? So if you were looking at the 15-minute time frame, again, this is where I look to get into the market, not off of the hour time frame. I don't place my trades off of the hour time frame. Again, I monitor the hour time frame, for trading, but not to actually enter a trade, if that makes sense, right? The hour time frame is where I go off of to let me know, how good of a trade it is I'm getting in, how many pips I could possibly gain, and things like that. And, obviously, you start seeing some of the signals, or what have you. But for my entries, I go to the lower time frame, typically the 15-minute, to give me a good gauge on whether or not this is a good time to enter this market, right? So I look for signs like what you're seeing right here, right now, right? So this doji, this is a bullish doji though. Could be a possible sign. If it was a red doji, that could be a possible sign for a reversal to the downside. The fact that it's a green doji will give me pause and say, hey, this is more than likely a continuation to the upside. But again, you wait for your confirmations before you enter a trade into that market, right? So again, right here, coming down to the downside, we see that this pullback has now ended, right? You get your confirmations once you get this bullish. Again, looking at it on the 15-minute, right? Once you get this bullish candle right here, this is a good time to enter into this market for the continuation to the upside, right? So just a couple of things to look at to confirm your entries. And then, one of the next questions is, well, where do I exit? For a trade like this, again, looking at so if we looked at the hour time frame, we really don't have a good point of reference, as this has been climbing for quite some time. So we can look at the 4 hour, see if there's any point of reference recently. Not really. So we look at the daily for a point of reference. And I would say with a trade like that, right, like the trade that I had in earlier, because I've closed it by now, we could possibly take that trade before we reach any like real resistance. That one, I think I got in, it was probably about right here. So we could have taken that to probably about right, yeah, no, obviously definitely to this area right here. So could have still been in that trade, faced a little pullback, but I don't think it would have been a significant pullback. But again, I would look to target this resistance area right here. This resistance area right here is where this candle for the day is going to start to have a reaction, right? So again, identifying the trend, looking at our higher time frames to confirm, again, that the trend is still intact, how far we possibly got to go. Again, looking at those major levels on the daily, these resistance and support areas or zones on the daily time frame are very significant. These are the ones that you definitely want to pay attention to, and looking at them, on the lower time frames as well. You want to pay attention to the resistance and support zones, what have you, for price to possibly have reactions. But again, if you know what the trend is, remember you got your impulse and you got your corrections. Your corrections are your pullbacks. Trade the pullbacks. Stay in the direction of the trend, and you'll find yourself on the right side of the market more times than not. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you liked the video, if it was helpful, if you got questions, please by all means hit the like button, subscribe button, and put your questions in the comments. Good day, good luck.